right, we are back, and our guest, Ninotaziz, Ninotaziz. She
That's
is the
correct.
she is the author of NAGA, A Legend of Tasik Chini. I hope I pronounced that correctly. The book is published by Ex Libris. You can go to exlibris.com, barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, and it's available in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. And welcome to the show. It's nice to have you with us. Where are you located?
Thank you, Stu. I am in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
All right. And it's nice to tell us about the book, the title, and why you wrote it, okay?
Okay. The title actually is Naga, A Legend of Tasik Chini, and Naga actually means serpent or dragon. Naga, A Legend of Tasik Chini is actually based on an old mythology in Malaysia. And just to give a little bit of background, I am actually a writer of Malaysian legends, and I compile as many legends as I can in the hope that these do not disappear. And the main reason why I did that is because I realized that my daughters, I have 5 of them,
Wow.
they were more exposed to world legends, world meaning Western fairy tales, mythology from Greek, from Egypt, and so on. And I realized that the stories I read as a child and I heard that were told to me as a child are disappearing. They did not know them at all. So I began writing anthologies, and they were doing quite well. And about 3 years ago, I watched the movie Sorcerer and the White Snake, a movie produced by Tony Ching from Hong Kong. And I said to myself that Malaysian legends deserve to be on the world stage. And part of the reason why that is not happening is because the legends are not retold, like how Shakespeare stories are retold, etc. So I began writing, and by the time after 3 years of writing anthologies, I finally felt okay. I'm going to attempt my first novel, and Naga is the product of that.
All right. Well, this is all new to most of us. Is this a subject that's has some familiarity in different cultures around the world, but just not here? And the second part of the question is, tell us a little bit about Naga and the legend of Tasik Chini.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, Naga, dragons, are of course familiar all around the world. You have dragons in France, you have dragons in Alaska, you have dragons in China, and in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, basically, it is all part of that culture. I think in Southeast Asia and Asia, Nagas are more familiar. And specifically in this particular story, Tasik Chini is a lake located in the middle of Peninsular Malaysia. And the myth is that there was a dragon here and there was a great flood. Of course, the great floods are legends all over the world, but here the flood is associated with the appearance of a dragon. And many things are associated with this legend. Basically, there is a kingdom beneath the lake. When there is flood, a dragon comes to warn the people of the land that there is going to be a flood, and etc. So what I did was, I took the legend of Tasik Chini here in Malaysia and gave it the background of Southeast Asia, connecting. Basically, it is a story of different royal houses in Southeast Asia and how they are connected, and it all surrounds a myth in Tasik Chini.
A lot of fiction books, a lot of nonfiction. A lot of fictional books contain facts that are integrated into the fictional story to make it more interesting. Can you separate the fiction and the nonfiction aspect, and how you were able to reconcile this?
Okay, well, the research that went into Naga basically speaks of a time where there was a kingdom called Champa. We are talking about 5th century, so to speak, and Champa is today where Vietnam is. So the story starts with a princess born in Champa, and that princess was cursed and she had to leave her land, and her father, the king, sent her to a sanctuary in where Malaysia is today, in Tasik Chini. And she grew up under that curse, and she was not supposed to leave Tasik Chini, the lake, the sanctuary that she was living at. But there was a prince from China who came and took her away from this. Of course, there is the love interest there. And she left with this prince, and that destroyed the sanctuary in Tasik Chini and almost her homeland in Champa. So that is basically, in not so many words, the story. But it's basically, it's also a story of how teenagers deal with, because the heroes, the protagonists, and her friends are all in their teens, basically 18 and 19, and how they handle such a crisis during that time. That is what the story is all about. It's about loyalty, it's about betrayal, and a lot of traditions from Southeast Asia.
Your reputation precedes you. You've been very successful writing other things. You want to talk about your books have won awards. What have you got coming up in the future after this?
As I said, the inspiration for NAGA was a movie made in Hong Kong. And I wrote NAGA specifically hoping, okay, I know people say dream big, but I wrote it with the hope and dream that maybe it would be made into a movie. And I see local directors maybe working with someone like Luc Besson or even Ang Lee to produce this movie. It might not happen with my story, but as long as more people write more stories based on Malaysian legend, I believe someday it will happen. Because I feel that Asian legends, Malaysian legends, deserve a world stage.
Right.
And that's what I hope, yes.
All right. It's NAGA, spelled Naga, A Legend of Tasik Chini, and it's written by a distinguished guest, Ninotaziz. I want to spell that for people. If you want to go up on Google, it's Ninotaziz. Again, the book is published by Ex Libris, available in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. And you're a very articulate, eloquent, cerebral guest. It's been a real pleasure having you on.
Thank you, Stu.
All right. Thank you so much. We will take a break and then return right after these messages.